Have you ever thought that there were maybe too many World Eaters in your World Eaters army? Well, the Cult of Blood is here for you, running hordes of the poor mortal schmucks who follow them around, pumped up by emotional support Lords of Skulls. If you want to read more about this detachment, you can make a blood sacrifice to goonhammer.com. Link in the description. Detachment Rule: Idols of Khorne. Jackals and Goremongers gain the battle line keyword. At the start of your command phase, pick one of the 3 Idols of Khorne abilities. You can only pick each one once per battle. While they're active, their effects apply to all World Eaters Titanic and Monster units from your army. Idol of Infinite Rage. Friendly Jackal and Goremonger units within 6 inches, or 9 inches if the unit is Titanic, get +1 to hit and +1 to wound with all attacks. Idol of Burning Wrath. Jackal and Goremonger units within 6 inches, or 9 inches if the unit is Titanic, get +1 to their move characteristic and +1 to advance and charge rolls. Idol of Blessed Blood. Jackal and Goremonger units within 6 inches, or 9 inches if the unit is Titanic, get a 4-up invulnerable save. These are 3 very good effects that can do a lot of heavy lifting when you remember that Jackals can come in units of 20 models. Only being able to use these once per game means you'll have to be judicious about their use, though there is a way to double up. The enhancements mostly go on Demon Princes, but they let you bend the rules of who can attach where, even if it does make us think there should be a dedicated mortal character in the range somewhere. Chosen of the Blood God adds 3 inches to the model's auras and can only go on a monster. Those auras are what this detachment is built around, so it's a good pick. Butcher Lord lets an infantry character join a unit of Jackals or Goremongers, even gaining Infiltrate if he runs with the Goremongers. It's especially fun on a Slaughterbound or Master of Executions. Brazen Form gives a monster +1 toughness and a 5-up Feel No Pain, a great combo to keep your Demon Prince in the game. Strategic Slaughter lets you redeploy 3 units of Jackals or Goremongers. It's always good to keep your opponent guessing. Predictably, the stratagems apply to Jackal and Goremonger units and the units that buff them. Bloody Vengeance targets a unit that destroyed one of your monster or Titanic units and lets your mortal goobers reroll hits against them. It's good on paper, but it requires losing a linchpin of your army to work. Drawn to the Slaughter is going to be the bread and butter of your army. It lets you recycle a destroyed unit of Jackals, and if you've got a Demon Prince around, you'll be bringing back that 20-man mob for 1 command point. In the Shadow of Brass Idols gives your goobers a 6-up Feel No Pain or a 5-up Feel No Pain if they're close enough to a monster or Titanic unit. Stack this up with a 4-up invulnerable save idle power to be a real pain in the butt. Bloodthirsty Horde increases the range your little guys can fight out to 3 inches, which will be pretty important when you've got a mob of 20 dudes trying to fight. Note that you've still got to be in engagement range to do this, so you're not going to be tagging units that are otherwise 3 inches away. Fail Not the Blood God lets you reroll 1s in the fight phase on your Goremonger or Jackal unit, or get full rerolls if they're close enough to a monster or Titanic unit. Position your big guys right and take advantage of those full rerolls. Brazen Idol is only usable once per game, but it lets you use an Idol of Khorne ability on a single monster or Titanic unit, even if you've already used it. You'll need to be mindful of when and where you use this, especially at 2 command points. Using the invulnerable save ability twice to keep your guys alive might be worth it though. If you're playing this detachment, you'll probably want to invest in movement trays, a dice tray, and a load of dice for your deluge of crummy attacks. After that, the list kind of writes itself. You'll need a metric buttload of Jackals and Goremongers, obviously, a few Demon Princes to run with them, and at least 1 Lord of Skulls to build the army around. After that, fill in with support units like Forge Fiends to taste. Your game plan will be flooding the table with dudes, popping your invulnerable and Feel No Pain abilities to keep them in the game, then getting into melee where you can fish for lethal and sustained hits with whatever rerolls you can stack. Now let's go over the strengths and weaknesses. Bodies. Jackals are pretty solid battle line units, and in this detachment, you can field 120 of them. That's a lot of beef to chew through, and they can become a real problem. Speaking of which, durability buffs. The benefits you can throw to those Jackal and Goremonger units are pretty spicy, and a 4-up invulnerable save on a unit of 20 Jackals with a 5-up Feel No Pain, well, it's gonna be a problem to deal with. Melee buffs. The melee buffs here are pretty great too. Rerolling all hit rolls is huge for units that hit on a 4-up or a 5-up, and when you combine that with +1 to hit and wound, you can do some insane damage with your Jackals. Now unfortunately, it's got limited use. Only getting access to one of your auras at a time, and only once per game, means you'll have to put a lot of planning in to make sure you aren't caught out at a key moment. Likewise, you'll want to manage your single use of Brazen Idol carefully. Know when you want 2 effects active versus reusing a key effect. Limited range. Needing to stay close to your monster and Titanic units in your army means that you'll be hard pressed to range far from your Demon Princes and Lords of Skulls. and other units. This is straight up a detachment about jackals and goremongers. The demon princes and lords of skulls are important to make this army work, but they don't benefit much from this detachment. No other units are getting much out of this detachment either. The biggest issue with the Cult of Blood is painting a ton more jackals than anyone would ever realistically want to paint. If you are that flavor of crazy though, the good news is that this is a viable way to run them. The Cult of Blood gives you a giant board control army that depends on its buffs to do the real damage, where your biggest enemy is the round timer. And blast weapons, probably. If you haven't monged enough gore yet, head over to goonhammer.com to read all about this detachment and then some. While you're there, you can pay the blood debt to our Patreon or just subscribe to us here on YouTube. I have been Cornhusk McMurderDeathKill, reminding you that the Lord of Skulls literally runs on the blood of murderers. Look it up, I'm not even joking. Thanks for watching.